भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्नीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, Hare Krishna. Previous session, we had covered the discussion between King Rahugana and Jadabharat, and basically the teachings of Jadabharat to King Rahugana. And that way, we completed chapter 14. So the chapter 15 talks about the descendants of Priyavrata Maharaj. There is a big list here. So many names of various descendants in the line of Priyavrata Maharaj. And it is mentioned in that lineage, King Gaya's name was mentioned. It is said that King Gaya is an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was he was a great devotee as well, but yet he was an expansion of the Supreme Lord. His name was mentioned. He was a pious king. That's the only point that I want to highlight from chapter 15. And then we move on to chapter 16, description of Jambudvipa. So in this chapter, Parikshit Maharaj makes some inquiries. Basically, if you remember well, in the beginning, Shukadeva Goswami had mentioned that through the chariot wheels, the 7 ditches are formed on Bhumandala, and that created 7 islands and 7 oceans. So Maharaj Parikshit then inquired from Shukadeva Goswami that he wanted to know the description of this Bhumandala. He wanted to know more about the details, more details about these 7 islands and 7 oceans. Shukadeva Goswami says that I will try my level best to explain. Every detail may not be, we may not be able to capture every detail, but Shukadeva Goswami says to Parikshit, I will try my level best to explain this. Okay. And then from now, we will have to show some pictures. Got so many things there, right? That's the one. Yeah. So the rolling wheels of Priyavrata Mara chariot created 7 ditches in Bhumandala, which became 7 oceans, dividing it into 7 islands. And Parikshit Maharaj says, now I desire to know the measurements and qualities of those oceans and islands. So imagine how big the chariot wheel must have been. So these are the 7 islands and 7 oceans. In the center, it is circle, and then you have the remaining 6 islands are in the ring form. Dvipa in Sanskrit means, Dvi means 2, Apa means water. The land that drinks water from both sides, not from all sides, but both sides. That is called Dvipa. In English, we call the Dvipa, it is translated as island. And so this is how there are 7 oceans and 7 islands were formed. And the names of these oceans and islands are mentioned here. So first we have Jambudvipa, which is surrounded by saltwater ocean. Then it is surrounded by Plakshadvipa. Then it is surrounded by sugarcane juice. Then comes Shalmali Dvipa. If you remember the story of Govardhan, initially Govardhan, Mount Govardhan, he appeared in Shalmali Dvipa. If you read the story, it is said that the Govardhan hill appeared in Shalmali Dvipa. Later, it was brought to here to our Bharatavarsha by, I think, Pulatsi, if I remember well, or some other Muni. Shalmali Dvipa. This is surrounded by clarified butter. Then you have Kusha Dvipa, surrounded by milk ocean. Krauncha Dvipa, surrounded by a churned yogurt. Then you have at the end you have Pushkara Dvipa. There is clear water, surrounded by clear water. So the measurements are also given here. But in this chapter 16, Shukadeva Goswami mainly focuses on the center island. So, so this is like lotus. He says this Bhumandala resembles a lotus. There is some slope in the sense that the height at the center is slightly higher than the at the sides. There is some slope, but it is a flat thing. So in the center, you have island. This island is called Jambudvipa. So the centermost island is the Jambudvipa. So this Jambudvipa, the measurements of Jambudvipa. So if you see the horizontal cross section of the universe, this is how it looks like. This Bhumandala is in the center. The Bhumandala is in the center, and this is what Maharaj Shukadeva Goswami is describing about this Bhumandala, which is located in the center. We will also describe the vertical structure later. Shukadeva Goswami also described the vertical structure, but later. But currently is focusing on this horizontal structure of the Bhumandala. So in the center, you have Jambudvipa. So the Jambudvipa, it is 100,000 yojanas. And there are 9 divisions. These are called Varshas. And there are 8 mountains separating these 9 divisions. So we'll take this center island, which is Jambudvipa, and we are actually, our Earth is part of the Jambudvipa. Okay. So take the center part. This is how it looks like, and in the center you have this Ilavruta Varsha. In the Ilavruta Varsha, in the middle of that Ilavruta Varsha, you have, in the middle of Ilavruta Varsha, you have this, which mountain is it? Meru mountain, Sumeru, which is made up of solid gold. Exactly, it is in the center of the Ilavruta Varsha. Ilavruta Varsha is in the center of this one, Jambudvipa. So the dimensions of what are the dimensions of Jambudvipa? How long? What is the width of it?
100 yojanas, is it?
Yes, 100,000 yojanas, which equates to 800,000 miles, right? 800,000 miles. Yes. So here it is mentioned 100,000 yojanas. So the length of this Sumeru mountain is also 100,000 yojanas, same as this width of the Jambudvipa. But out of this 100,000, it's like a cone, cone shape, and you can only see 84,000 yojanas above the earth, above Jambudvipa. 16,000 is beneath the Bhumandala. Yes, 16,000. And the width at the top of Sumeru is 32,000 yojanas, and it is getting narrowed. It becomes 16,000 at the bottom, some of the measurements. Yes. And we know that. And this Jambudvipa is surrounded by saltwater ocean. Okay. Then, so you have these, on the eastern side of Ilavruta Varsha, you have Ketumala Varsha, which is separated by Malyavan. I beg your pardon, this is western side. On the eastern side, you have Bhadrashva Varsha. And this is separated from the Ilavruta Varsha by Gandhamadhan. And you can see these, how many mountains you can count here. And then you have 3 mountains towards the southern side, Nila, Sveta, and Shrungavan. All the mountains here, 3 on the southern side, 3 on the northern side, 1 on the western side, 1 on the eastern side, 8 mountains. It is mentioned the width of all these mountains is 2,000 yojanas, and the height is 10,000 yojanas. Okay. So similarly, there are 3 mountains here, southern side, Nishada, Hemakuta, Himalaya. I mentioned this. This is not our Himalayas in India. This is different. Okay. Okay. And the islands' name are also mentioned. So we mentioned Ketumala, western side here, Bhadrashva. Then you have Ramyaka, Iranmaya, Kuruvarsha. And the northern side, Arivarsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharatavarsha. Kimpurusha Varsha, where Anuman and his associates live currently. And this Bharatavarsha, this has, this has 9 divisions again. And the 9th most division is the one where we are living on, the Bharatavarsha. Okay. So let me show in another picture. So we have seen this, and through which we understand the measurements of Mount Meru. And this is another picture where it shows the width of each mountain is 2000 yojanas. And actually another point is that the width of the islands, the tracts, not islands, Varsha, each Varsha is 9,000. These Varshas is 9,000, like that. Surrounded by saltwater ocean. Another picture, 3D. Yeah. So we will now zoom into Ilavruta Varsha. That's how it goes into. Okay. Yeah, I got too many pictures there. Let's zoom into Ilavruta Varsha. So if you zoom into this Ilavruta Varsha, the center of land, and you see here, this is separated from Ketumala Varsha by Malyavan mountain. On the eastern side, there is Gandhamadhan mountain. And in the center, you have Sumeru mountain, which is total height of the Sumeru is 100,000 yojanas. So immediately surrounding Sumeru, like 4 sides, you have each side a pair of mountains. So there are 8 mountains you can see like this. On the eastern side, Jatara and Devakuta. And the southern side, Kailasha and Karavira, like that. So there are 8 mountains. And beyond these mountains, there is another mountain each side. So total 12 mountains between the Gandhamadhan mountain and Malyavan mountain, right? And say, for example, this mountain called Kumuda. On the Kumuda, you have a banyan tree, and there is a river there. And that river is, it contains milk, yogurt, and honey, ghee, etc. And there is a lake, pure water lake is there. And similarly, on the southern side, you have Jambu tree on Meru Mandara mountain. These Jambu trees are as big as the size of the elephant. And when they fall from this mountain, the juice of these fruits becomes a river, and it flows here in this area. It is called Jambuda. And when it mixes with the soil, it gives gold, like that. So each mountain has a tree and a river, a lake, and a garden as well. for the pleasure of the residents who live there. And surrounding these 4 mountains, you have this circle here. You can see these are actually a filament-like structure. They are called Kecharachela Mountains. They are 20 in number. I can show you a picture. Can you see small filaments going all the way in height to the Sumeru Mountains? Small filaments. So I'll show you another picture. You can see here, these dots, these 20 dots, they are Kecharachela Mountains. Okay. Then on top of the Sumeru Mountain, this is the top of the Sumeru Mountain, you have residences for various demigods. In the center, you have the residence for Brahma, and whereas, 8 Dikpalas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. So for Vayu, Varuna, Kuvera, Lord Shiva, Indra, Agni, Yama. So like that, they have their residences, like a holiday spot. So they have their own planets, but they also have residences on top of Sumeru Mountain. So then, so we'll, yeah, by drinking the the liquids of these rivers and these lakes, the residents they don't they are free from disease and wrinkles. They ever look very fresh and young, and their breath is very aromatic. They do not perspire. Even if they perspire, it is very aromatic, like that. So that's mentioned. And then 17th chapter talks about descendant of river Ganga, how the Mother Ganga descends into this world. So we all know that when Vamandev went to the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Bali, and requested for 3 pieces of land, 3 steps. So Maharaj Bali had agreed to give 3 steps of lands in charity. But however, Vamandev became Trivikrama. He expanded. He, took a gigantic form. And so when he raised his hand to occupy the higher planets, with his toe nail, he pierced the covering of the universe. And what happened was the causal ocean, the water from the causal ocean got leaked into it. So, and that is Mother Ganga. And it also washed the feet of Lord Vishnu or Vamandev. And from there, that causal ocean, water from causal ocean, then it took several million years to reach Dhruvaloka, Maharaj Dhruva planet. From there, it goes to the sages Saptarushi Mandal. You can see a small diagram here. This is Dhruvaloka. And beneath the Dhruvaloka, you have Saptarushi Mandal, planets for 7 sages. So from Dhruvaloka, then it goes to planets of 7 sages. From there, it goes to the moon. And from moon, then it falls onto this, on top of the Sumeru mountain. There, when it falls, it divides into 4 branches: east, west, south, north, like that. So here you can see this one, east one. Each branch has got a different name. So it falls on Brahmapuri like this. You can see it falls in the center abode for a Brahma we have seen just now, and divides into 4 branches, and it falls like this, the blue one. So falls onto the Kecharachala mountains, then onto various mountains. From one mountain, it jumps like that. So goes in the 4 direction, and then it enters into the saltwater ocean. That's been mentioned. Then I would like to read a little bit. Yes, 1 second. 17, right? Okay. Who would like to read? Go on, Padma Mataji. 11 and 12.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can't see the slides, Prabhuji.
You can't see the slide? No problem. I'll reshare it. I think I have a little problem here. Can you see now?
Yes, I can. So from text
11.
11, Prabhuji, thank you. Text 11. Among the 9 Varshas, the tract of land known as Bharatavarsha is understood to be the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars and saintly persons declare the other 8 Varshas to be meant for very highly elevated pious persons. After returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy the remaining results of their pious activities in these 8 earthly Varshas. Text 12. In these 8 Varshas, or tracts of land, human beings live 10,000 years according to earthly calculations. All the inhabitants are almost like demigods. They have the bodily strength of 10,000 elephants. Indeed, their bodies are as sturdy as thunderbolts. The youthful duration of their lives is very pleasing, and both men and women enjoy sexual union with great pleasure for a long time. After years of sensual pleasure, when a balance of 1 year of life remains, the wife conceives a child. Thus, the standard of pleasure for the residents of these heavenly regions is exactly like that of the human beings who lived during the Treta Yuga. Text 13. In each of these tracts of land, there are many gardens filled with flowers and fruits according to the season, and there are beautifully decorated hermitages as well. Between the great mountains demarcating the borders of those lands lie enormous lakes of clear water filled with newly grown lotus flowers. Aquatic birds such as swans, ducks, water chickens, and cranes become greatly excited by the fragrance of the lotus flowers, and the charming sound of the bumblebees fills the air. The inhabitants of those lands are important leaders among the demigods. Always attended by their respective servants, they enjoy life in gardens alongside the lakes. In this pleasing situation, the wives of the demigods smile playfully at their husbands and look upon them with lusty desires. All the demigods and their wives are constantly supplied with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands by their servants. In this way, all the residents of the 8 heavenly Varshas enjoy, attracted by the activities of the opposite sex.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank
Okay,
you, Prabhu.
so oops, not that one. Right. So if we go back to the main first picture, here you can see these um, 8 islands. What it is said is it is called Bhaumasvarga, heavenly, earthly heaven. And there is one, you know, what I can say, celestial heaven up there. And we also have heaven here, and this is earthly heaven. And then you have subterranean heaven also, 3 heavens. All these 8, but apart from the Bharatavarsha in Jambudvipa, okay, the remaining, so Jambudvipa, apart from Bharatavarsha, everything else is Bhaumasvarga, earthly heaven. And here, apart from Bharatavarsha, please remember that. Here they live up to 10,000 years, free from disease, and they don't become old, etc. And they will the female conceive, they get conceived only in the last year of their life. And it is said that as soon as the child is born, the child becomes, reaches, youth within a few moments, and they train that child and they leave their body. So they live up to 10,000 years. So what else is mentioned? There are various gardens, lakes in all those places for their enjoyment. And it is also mentioned when they have, when one goes to celestial heaven, and when there is at least 10% of piety remaining, they come and take birth here. And when they have completed around 90% of that 10% piety, then they will be given a human body, and they will take birth in the Bharatavarsha. Only in Bharatavarsha exists these 4 yugas: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. They do not exist elsewhere. Only in Bharatavarsha they exist. It is called Karma Bhumi. Means what is Karma Bhumi? You can create piety or impiety. Or from there you can also go back to spiritual world. In other places also there is opportunity. We will see that. That is where you generate your karma. But here I would say that there is less of a karma factor. You would enjoy or suffer, like this is called enjoy. Basically, you would enjoy here. That's been mentioned in those verses. Then we'll come to the next one is this. So back to Jambudvipa. Yeah. In each of this division, Lord incarnates and Lord is being worshipped. you can see, and there is a prominent devotee also. The prayers are headed by a prominent devotee. Say, for example, in the Ilavruta Varsha, who leads the prayer? Lord Shiva is the only one male. There are billions of maid servants to serve Mother Durga, Bhavani. And Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan. Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan is Ishtadev, is a worshipable deity. And this is the prayer he offers. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankyayanaya Anantaya Avyaktaya Namahiti. There are a number of prayers, but I've just taken one prayer. So in Lord Shiva worships Sankarshan in Ilavruta Varsha, and in Bhadrashva Varsha you have son of Dharmaraj, son of Yamaraj, named Bhadrashva. He worships Ayashirshar Hayagriva. And in Ketumala, Cupid being worshipped here in this, Cupid and Mother Lakshmi is being worshipped. And in Kimpurusha Varsha, you have Hanuman heads the prayer, and they worship Lord Ram. Hari Varsha, Prahlad Maharaj leads the prayers and worships Narsinghadev. And in Bharata Varsha, Narada Muni leads the prayers and worships Naranarayan Rishi. Here in Ramyaka Varsha, Matsyavatar is the fish incarnation of the Lord, is being worshipped by Swayambhu Manu Maharaj. And then you have in Hiranmaya Varsha, the Kurma incarnation of the Lord, worshipped by Aryama and his friends. And then in Uttara Kuru Varsha, Boar incarnation of the Lord is worshipped here. So if you see at the time of Parikshit Maharaj, I don't know if I can find that prayer here. It is mentioned Maharaj Parikshit had been to Uttara Kuru Varsha. We are here, southernmost. So he conquered all the divisions of this Jambudvipa. It is mentioned in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he had access. We don't have access now. Arjun also been in the Mahabharata. It is mentioned Arjun had been as well. But even at the time of Parikshit Maharaj, he could go up until this Uttara Kuru Varsha. So let's see a couple of prayers by Hanuman and by Prahlad Maharaj. So let's see. Back to chapter. Anybody remembers any prayers by any of these devotees? Long time, right? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam. So let me bring up a couple of them. We'll read a couple of prayers. Yeah. So this is Prahlad Maharaj prayers. This is the prayer I mentioned in the past also. We do this prayer, we recite this every day. So Prahlad Maharaj offer prayers, this one of these famous prayers to Nrsimhadev. Possible you can by heart as well. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Tejase Aviravir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradamshra Karmashayan Randaya Randaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhushta Om Kshraum. I offer my respectable obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desire. Wow. Kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. What a wonderful, thing to ask. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance. Tamo grasa grasa. Drive away ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. So please note this prayer, 5:18:8, and there is another prayer also. This one is a very, very famous one, 5:18 and 9. Okay. Swastyastu Vishwasya Kalaha Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodhiya Manascha Badram Bhajata Dadoktaje Aveshatam no Matirapyaituki. May there be good fortune throughout the universe. This is our devotee prays. Let there be good fortune throughout the universe. And may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of him. So this is how Prahlad Maharaj offered his prayers in Harivamsha. So there are other prayers also, but I've just taken a few. So this is the these are the prayers by Hanuman, I guess. So if you would like to read, anybody would like to read a couple of them? Please raise your hand if so.
I can do so if nobody else wishes to.
Okay, Amsini Mataji, please go on. From 6.
Hare Krishna, text 6. Since Lord Sri Ramachandra is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, he is not attached to anything in this material world. He is the most beloved supersoul of all self-realized souls, and he is their very intimate friend. He is full of all opulences. Therefore, he could not possibly have suffered because of separation from his wife, nor could he have given up his wife and Lakshman, his younger brother. To give up either would have been absolutely impossible. I think I've read that wrong. Anyway, text 7. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities, such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one sharp friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, sorry, I've read it wrong. One sharp intelligence or one superior race or nation. Thank you. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Text 8. Therefore, whether one is a demigod or a demon, a man or a creature other than man, such as a beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on this earth just like a human being. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. Thus he is satisfied, and as soon as he is satisfied, the devotee is successful. Indeed, Lord Sri Ramachandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead by Kuntha.
Thank you very much, Mataji. So these are very important prayers, especially the text 7 and 8. Text 7 is very, very often quoted in the 19th chapter. So we'll recite also. It's a very nice one. Na janmanunam mahato na saubhagam navan na buddhir na krutisto shayetu Tairyad vishrushtan apino vanaukasas chakara sakye bhatalakshmanagraja. Here, Hanuman is saying that, one cannot establish friendship based on one's external character, external qualities such as like noble birth, beauty, eloquence, sharp intelligence, superior race. None of these qualifications actually a prerequisite for making friendship with Lord Ramachandra. So he's saying that, we don't have any of these great qualities. We monkeys, we live in the forest. But, Lord Ramachandra had accepted us. That means he doesn't see these external qualities, but he sees the character of a devotee, sincerity of a devotee. He's called Bhavagrahi Janardana. He takes the essence. He doesn't see the race, gender, all these things, external things. So it is said, man sees the result, God sees the effort. So then in the next verse, famous verse is also, Suro vapyata vanaro naraha sarvatmana yaha sukrutagnyamuttamam bhajeta ramam manujakrutim harim yavuttarananayat kosalandhivamiti. Sura, asura, whoever it may be, whether it is demigod, demon, monkey, or human, whoever it may be, everybody should worship Lord Ramachandra. And he is very much satisfied. He says there is no need for great austerities, penances. He accepts a small service offered by his devotee. Remember that squirrel, when the bridge was being built, it was just, throwing some grains of sand. And Lord Rama accepted that service. He is satisfied even if you offer like small service, depending on your ability. We all have different abilities and different talents and different circumstances also. According to our situation, we should offer the best. It is said he had taken all the living entities of Ayodhya back to Vaikunta. Ya Uttarananayat Kosalan Divamiti. So he had taken even grass. Grass is also living entity. So all the living entities in the form of grass and in the form of humans, in the form of moving, non-moving, all these living entities were, taken back to Vaikunta because they were connected to Lord Ramchandra. So these are some of the prayers by Hanuman. And in the Narada Muni offers prayers in the Bharatavarsha, and then he glorifies this Bharatavarsha. Bharatavarsha, as I mentioned, is a karma bhumi where you generate karma. Even the demigods, the life in the human birth in the Bharatavarsha is very rare. And even the demigods, they say that, let us, they pray to the Supreme Lord. When our piety gets extinguished, exhausted, when there is little piety remaining, please allow us to take birth in the Bharatavarsha. Because from there, one can easily practice devotion and go back to the spiritual world. So like that, there are several prayers mentioned here. And let me see. Yeah, so let's read this one prayer. So these are demigods are offering. Okay. I need a volunteer, please. We'll read a couple of prayers. Volunteer? No one? Are you still there? Yes, Manjurada Mataji. Yes, from text 22 onwards.
1 second, Prabhu. I'll just turn the phone here. The demigods continue. After performing the very difficult task of executing Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, undergoing austerities, observing vows and charity, we have achieved this position as inhabitants of the heavenly planets. But what is the value of this achievement? Here we are certainly very engaged in material sense gratification, and therefore we can hardly remember the lotus feet of the Lord Narayana. Indeed, because of our excessive sense gratification, we have almost forgotten his lotus feet. A short life in the land of Bharatvarsha is preferable to a life achieved in Brahmaloka for millions and billions of years, because even if one is elevated to Brahmaloka, he must return to repeated birth and death. Although life in Bharatvarsha, in the lower planetary system, is very short, one who lives there can elevate himself to full Krishna consciousness and achieve the highest perfection. Even in this short life, by fully surrendering onto the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus one attains Vaikuntha Loka, where there is neither anxiety nor repeated birth in a material body.
So text 25, you can skip 24.
25, okay. Bharatvarsha offers the proper land and circumstances in which to execute devotional service, which can free one from results of jnana and karma. If one obtains a human body in the land of Bharatvarsha with clear sensory organs with which to execute the Sankirtan Yajna, But in spite of this opportunity, he does not take to devotional service. He's certainly like liberated forest animals and birds that are careless and are therefore again bound by a hunter.
I will stop there. So
Okay,
here,
thank you.
yeah, thank you very much for reading. So here we can see there are other prayers also, but the essence of those prayers is that especially the human birth in the land of Bharatavarsha, means on this planet, is desired by even great demigods. Great demigods also are desiring to have our position, your position, my position. And so we are very, very fortunate to obtain this human life. And not only that, but having connected to pure devotee Srila Prabhupada and having this wonderful opportunity of reading Srimad Bhagavatam is extremely rare. You know, here it's very difficult to predict how long are we going to live for. Recently you must have seen the news that Baltimore Bridge. What is that? Um, I was pondering on that a lot on that instant. That ship, it loses its power just before it reaches that pillar support. There is plenty of gap for that ship to pass through, but somehow or other, just before that, it loses its power, and it could not navigate, and the bridge, the support is destroyed, and the bridge got collapsed. It took 5 years to build the bridge, and literally within 5 seconds the bridge got collapsed, and it's a massive bridge. People were driving in the cars at that time, and they all fell into this in the water, and they had to give up their body. So life, we don't know when we will give up our body. It's very difficult to say. And padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. There is this danger at every step. This danger can be perceived by the intelligent people. To perceive danger, you require intelligence. To perceive misery, you also require intelligence. Ignorance is bliss, sometimes they say, right? But sometimes even ignorant people also learn through the difficult method when they suffer, but they forget after the suffering is finished. But the intelligent person doesn't forget. Keeping that in the mind, the intelligent people, they worship Sumedha. Those who are intelligent, they worship Krishna. In which method? Yajnayi Sankirtana prayer. They take to the process of chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this way, follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So let's take this opportunity and make best use of this bad bargain, as Srila Prabhupada says. Okay, so I'll stop there. If anybody has any comments, any questions, please do so. Otherwise, we'll end the session here and hopefully catch up next Thursday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very helpful.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.